As the end of June comes around, you have to look back and realize what was forced down our throat the most, and that's transgenderism.
The LGBT Progress Pride flag. Yeah, we have the lesbian flag, the gay flag, and polysexual flags, genderqueer, gender fluid. I think there's been a more updated version of this flag too, but sexual flag. Demi-boy flag.
What is the real reason why everyone is focused on transgenders now, more than ever before? That's because it's being forced on children.
Cooper is gender nonconforming, which means the way he expresses himself to the world is what we stereotypically call female. But he's very adamant he's a boy.
Not adults. This is what people are not seeing. You can do whatever you want to with your body after you are 18. But to say that kids that think that they are a dinosaur one day can make a life-changing decision the next is a joke. Welcome to Don't Trust What You See, a show that we dig in deep to find the truth, not the truth that they want us to know, the truth that's actually there. So, where did this all begin, and why do millions of people think that they are transgender? That is because of a person called John Money, and in 1951 arrived at Hopkins University, where he spent the rest of his career, where he invented the term gender ideology and gender role. He was a sexologist and physicist from New Zealand. He studied internal experience of sexuality and also the, quote, social expectations of male and female behavior. Which research did he do while he was there? Lots. Let's start with this one case, the John/John case, in which involved a set of twins which were both boys, but at 6 months old.
As the twins started growing, they showed some problems urinating due to phimosis, a condition in which foreskin cannot be pulled back off the head of the penis. When the boys were 7 months old, their parents Janet and Ronald Reimer took them to get circumcised in order to fix the problem. What the parents didn't know was that the doctor in charge of the circumcision was using a method of cauterization, a burning technique, instead of a traditional blade. During the procedure, Bruce Reimer suffered a horrible accident which resulted in his penis being burnt off.
After this, the parents didn't know what to do, so they went to Money. And then he came up with the idea to raise him as a girl. In 1973, Dr. Money reported that the child who had been castrated and furnished with dresses and dolls was doing just fine and had accepted the new identity as a girl. But this was a blatant lie. According to a 1997 report in the Archives of Pediatricians and Adolescents Medicine, a pair of researchers provided a detailed follow-up. The boy had repudiated his female identity at the age of 14 and had even had surgery to reconstruct his genitals.
So you don't wake up one morning and say, "Oh, I'm a boy today." It's in you. It's in your genetics. It's in your brain. Nobody has to tell you who you are.
And by 2004, the man who had reclaimed his sex committed suicide. His family blamed the effort to change his sex. That wasn't the only red mark on his name. He also believed, like many other sexologists, that pedophilia was a harmless sexuality which, when practiced quote-unquote properly, led to the child suffering no harm. In fact, Money's theories on pedophilia were so sympathetic that, to this day, his work is prominently featured on the website of North American Man-Boy Love Association, one of the longest established pedologist right groups. In the 1990s, Money allowed himself to be featured in interviews with Pedica, a pedophile psychology journal named after the Greek adjective for boyish, and had been used by pedophile rights activists to refer to the younger partner in a pederastic relationship. He also said, quote, "If I were to see a case of a boy aged 10 or 11 who's intensely erotically attracted toward a man in his 20s or 30s, if the relationship is totally mutual and the bonding is genuinely totally mutual, I would not call it pathical in any way." Money also noted that he, quote, "never reported any pedophiles to police, even those who were actively abusing children due to their belief that adult child sex was normal." And quote, often beneficial. Now, remember the John/John case? Well, he was named Reimer. During checkups, Money would subject the twin boys to disturbing experiments. And just a warning, these are very, very disturbing. They were forced to replicate sexual intercourse with each other, touch and inspect each other's genitals, and watch pornography. Money would show the twins photos in smut magazines and explicit sexual photos of kids. He would then prod them about their sexual arousal and question their attractions. The children were also expected to comply in front of audiences of as many as 6 other adults. And some reports state Money would also take photos and videos of the children engaged in rehearsal sexual activity. At the time, both of the twins were just 6 years old. A later testimony from one of the twins stated that Money had, quote, 2 sides to his personality. One when their parents were around, and one when they were alone. When alone with the children, Money was abusive and got irritated with them for refusing to perform for him. In a later statement, they both recall fearing he would whip them if they did not do as he asked and strip their clothes. As David Reimer aged, he became increasingly resilient to seeing Money and begged his parents not to force him to go to Baltimore for checkups. Despite feminizing hormones and surgery, Reimer identified as a male and refused to believe that he was a girl, though he had never been told he was born a boy. By the age of 14, Reimer was experiencing social ideations and refused any further contact with Money. He demanded the truth from his parents, which they eventually told him in 1980. Despite that, Money proceeded to declare his experiments a success, which is a lie, obviously. And his quote, findings were used in later studies to justify genital surgeries imposed on some intersex children with ambiguous genitalia. Both Reimer and his brother would take their own lives, with Brian committing suicide via drug overdose in 2002 after a lifelong battle with schizophrenia, and David shooting himself in the head in 2004 at the age of 38. Their parents stated that they attributed their son's deaths to the trauma imparted upon them from Money's methods. Despite the disturbing origins, Money's legacy lives on in the concept of, quote, gender as a unique and quantifiable element apart from sex. It also lives on in the existence of gender ideology and identity clinics, the first of which was established by Money at Johns Hopkins in 1965. While proponents of trans ideology misappropriate Money's abusive experiments on Reimer as, quote, proof that a person cannot be forced to live a, quote, gender that they are not, they gloss over the critical reality that Reimer's experience demonstrates a person cannot be something that they are not, full stop. No amount of female hormones, clothes, surgery, or sexualization made David Reimer act or think any differently than his very male self. Even a synthetic femalized puberty did not change David Reimer. I got this info from redux.info. I also got some info from the New York Times archive today. So, I really hope that everybody learned something from this video and actually takes the time to actually research this topic, because the things that I talked about in this video are serious. I hope that everybody woke up to the fact that we've been lied to, and I hope that everybody realizes that they're going to continue to lie to us and cover up the fact that John Money, the inventor of this very thing that we are talking about today, should not be trusted and is an evil person. Thank you all for watching, and I hope that you learned something in this video. Thank you all, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye. Hey, were you just gonna click off this video? Why would you click off of this video when we have lots of content right here for you? Click down below if you want to see the newest video from this channel. Click down below if you want to see any other videos that I have made for any of my content anywhere. And head to dimitrisurjo.com to see my whole entire library of content for you to watch and enjoy. Thank you all, and have a great one. Don't forget to subscribe down below and like this video if you did like this video.